William, and on this episode, Weekends with William, we're going to do an experiment here that a fan requested. It's actually my cousin Mitchell, thank you buddy, and what he asked was on my channel. You can see it at my channel and under the discussion part there, and he said, can you figure out how well these conduct electricity? Well, if you put it into different terms, what he really meant was that how these are resistance. Now, before I do anything else here, I gotta quickly teach you about resistance. Resistance is something that keeps electricity from flowing. It either slows it down or prevents it from happening. So, what we can do here is we have a little device here called a multimeter, and resistance is measured in units called ohms. Okay? Now, we're going to figure out how many ohms this has here. This resistor. This is a 1000 ohm or a 1K ohm resistor. I can tell by these stripes. These are what electronic users and computer people use when they build it in the factory and stuff. So, here, according to this here, this says 1 ohm, or about 1 ohm. Okay, you can see that? Okay. Okay. So, it's at 1 ohm, it says here. There are also some other ones, like this here is a 100 ohm, and this here's a 330 ohm. This is a small one. And this is also a 4.7 K ohm resistor. So that is a bunch of resistors I have. Now we can also show this another way. They can do at home. Just go on a quick trip to the electronics store just to pick up an LED and a battery pack and a little bit of wire. You can try this yourself. So we have 2 AA batteries here and an LED, and when these 2 wires connect, this is essentially making a switch, and the light turns on, as you can see here. But what these resistors are going to do here is they're going to prevent that electricity from going. So this is a before. This is with no resistance whatsoever. Okay, and this is the 100 ohm resistor added. It's hard to tell in the video, but this is a little bit dimmer, but the effects are going to slowly increase here. This here's a 300 ohm resistor, and as you can see, it's way not as bright. And it even works even better with a 1000 ohm resistor, or 1K resistor. It's barely even lighting. You have to turn off the lights to see that. And with a 4.7, it barely even turns on. It's only turning on just a bit. You'd have to turn off all the lights to see that. So anyway, that's resistance 101 for you, but another thing it can do really quick is that if we connect this to a 9 volt, this is 3 volts, and LEDs can only hold up to 3 volts, but if we hook it up to 9 volts, it would immediately burn out the LED. But if we hook up this resistor, it brings it down to 3 volts and safely allowing this LED to light up. There. If we hook this up, it would go really bright for a second, then it would just burn out. Sometimes they'll even pop, and it can be dangerous. So anyway, back to the experiment here. What we want to do here is we want to test how much resistance these fruits and vegetables have here. So we have 3. We have an orange, a green bell pepper, and some cherries. And what we are going to do first is probably the easiest. So we're just going to get our multimeter here. I'll say against the cherry jar here. Hopefully that stays up. Okay, so we're going to stick the wires in here like a Frankenstein experiment. So we're going to... One of these wires broke off, so we're going to have to poke a hole here. Okay? and stick the wire right in there. You may have to stuff it in here really quick. Okay. That's good. That's good. Okay. Then we'll plug this into here. We'll poke it into here, and then we'll actually very high resistance. It's going up to about 80 or 90 K ohms. So it would be, this here is equal to 81,000 ohms, as you can see here. So that's how much a fruit is, an orange. Now this may depend on how long the fruit has been sitting or how ripe it is, or all these other circumstances. So now let's try a bell pepper. And the thing about this LED here, we can't really use it with this because it's way too much resistance here. You have to get a really high resistance thing and a whole bunch of stuff. Okay, so we're just gonna poke a hole in the bell pepper, and I'm just gonna stuff my wire in here. So these two connect here, and then we'll find out how much resistance it says, and it's climbing past 180, 190. It's climbing up slowly to 200. So this is 200K of resistance, or 19 just a lot of resistance here, as you can see here. So it would be 200,000. Gosh, I'm getting twisted up here. So we need that much resistance. So that's how much a bell pepper is. Again, it depends on how ripe it is or not. So now we have a cherry here, and I'm gonna have to get my finger sticky to get it. So I'm gonna get a cherry here and plug it in. Okay. So we're gonna stick one end into here. Again, no, we'll just poke one here, insert the wire if it holds, and stuff these here. We don't want these wires touching. So now the cherry is giving us about 35 or so. It actually depends on how far these wires are sticked and stuff, so they're going to have to be far apart and stuff. So we're getting about 10 K resistance, so it's about 10,000 ohms. So that's how much a cherry is. And that answers that question. I'm really glad that question was answered. So, thank you for watching this video. Make sure to like it and subscribe to my channel. Comment to leave another suggestion that I may try. And make sure to find your inner maker.